Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us here today on Plugged In. My name is Ramya Hosak, Director of Philanthropy for the Kidney Foundation, BC and Yukon Branch. Today, I'm excited to have Eric Chi here with me. Eric is the Director of Physician Services at the Fraser Health Authority and volunteer for the Kidney Foundation, BC and Yukon Branch. Eric, thank you for being here and welcome.
Thanks for having me, Ramya. I'm really excited to be able to speak about my experiences and the involvement I've had with the Kidney Foundation.
I am as well. Let's get started.
Right.
Eric, how long have you been volunteering with the Kidney Foundation?
I've been volunteering with the Kidney Foundation since approximately 2019.
Can you take us back to the beginning and talk about how you first became involved with the foundation?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a journey. I have a brother who has a kidney condition and ended up with a renal transplant recently as of this summer. And his diagnosis and kind of care path started back in 2014. And after he came out of the hospital, we were both debating, how can we raise awareness for this type of condition? Because it's tough to go through this type of situation with our family, and how can we just do whatever we can, whether it is handing out pamphlets, whether it's trying to get involved at a bigger scale, whether it's going on and talking to people. We were brainstorming, we were thinking about what we could do to get involved. And that's when I stumbled upon the Kidney Foundation, and both of us did, and we were like, hey, let's get involved in some way. So we started spamming emails and calling people, and eventually we got a hold of people and started to get involved.
That's amazing. So what was your driving motivation to become involved as a volunteer?
I think really is the raising awareness portion of it. We want to contribute in any way we can, and myself as well in these roles that we're playing, just to make the Kidney Foundation a household name. Similar to, you see the commercials about BC Cancer and the Heart and Stroke Foundation, and I think given how many people that kidney disease impacts, again, just want to make it a household name. Anything we can do to contribute towards that really drives me.
You kind of alluded to it a bit, but why don't we go a little bit deeper? There is a very personal side to your volunteer journey. So can you share a little bit about your connection to kidney disease?
Yeah, again, back in 2014, my brother was hospitalized and nobody really knew what was going on. It turned out he had IgA nephropathy, which is an autoimmune disorder where the body essentially attacks the kidneys. And he was 27 at the time, I was 24, and when we were both very just confused, scared, and we didn't know what was going on. So he had a hospital stay at Surrey Memorial Hospital, and his care at the high acuity unit for the week that he was there was really exceptional. And the nephrologist we had, Dr. Daniel Schwartz, was just a fantastic communicator, great person, and to this day he still takes care of both of us. And I say both of us because after my brother was discharged from hospital, there was the understanding that he may continue to deteriorate and potentially have to go on to dialysis, whether it's peritoneal or hemodialysis. And during that process, there was a question of whether there was a potential for a living kidney donor. So eventually my brother did go on peritoneal dialysis, and he was on it for about 2.5 years. And during that time, I went through the living kidney donor process.
What did you find out during that process?
Well, it was a little bit daunting. I think what the main thing that I found out during that process was that it's not going to necessarily impact the donor as much as people think. And obviously you're thinking, I'm giving away one of my 2 kidneys. It's really gonna change my life. Am I gonna be able to eat what I want? Am I going to be feeling okay and healthy on a day-to-day basis? But as you talk to the care team, and every member of the process was fantastic. They were very communicative as well. They were very respectful, very transparent as well. As I went through it, they kind of highlight the risks, of course, and they want you to make an informed decision as a family and want to make sure there's no pressure from anybody. And I think that was really fantastic. For me, what was really challenging was that I had some issues with some of my blood work, and I needed to do a follow-up biopsy. So that's when they take a needle and they try to take a tissue sample from you. I had to go through that. It was extremely painful to the point where I was prone on the bed, and I actually still passed out and went unconscious from the pain and discomfort. But ultimately, they found out through the biopsy that I had IgA markers on my kidney as well, which essentially meant that I had the potential to develop the same autoimmune disorder that my brother has, and therefore I was not a candidate for a living donor. That was devastating, and not so much because I just felt like I had let my brother down. And that was really tough for me because, he's a couple years older than me. Him and I have had a very strong, close relationship our entire lives. And, I wanted to make a difference for him. I wanted to get him back to normal. And I know every member of my immediate family and our extended families as well, they were really pulling for this all to work out. And I think that one thing I should add is that we're all also the same blood type. We're both O negative, which, as I understand, was a tough match to get, especially as kin. So we were really, really looking forward to the possibility of that. It was unfortunate it didn't all work out. My brother persevered. He took care of his diet, his lifestyle, continued peritoneal dialysis, and him and his wife persevered through the sounds of the machine and all that. And ultimately, after about 2.5 years of dialysis, like I mentioned, in this past summer during COVID, he received a kidney transplant. And I think through that entire journey, I say we a lot because I feel like I'm in it together with him. I just wanted to get as involved as possible with anything to do with renal disease, with the Kidney Foundation, just however I can contribute in any way. It's been something that drives me in and out of my day-to-day, whether it's my working life or my personal relationships. It's just, how can we make lives better for people?
Wow, what a great statement to end on for Volunteer Week. I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate you highlighting the role that caregivers and loved ones play for kidney patients along the process. It really does take a superhero team of support. So thank you for that. Everyone, stay tuned. We'll be right back.